everybody. Happy Friday. Ace, happy birthday. Thank you for spending part of your birthday with us. And Danny, I'm glad your feelings weren't hurt too much from the last stream, and I'm glad you're back. So everybody, thank you so much for joining today's live stream. It's so nice to see everybody. The smoke's almost gone, Richard. Lone Wolf Media. So nice to see you, and thanks for gifting the memberships. It's pretty good out there. It's not so bad. I think this is the last day, and it's even not that bad today. So we have some great stories today, and since today was a fun DC story, I thought I would do a live stream that subscribers could join the chat. Anyone can, and as soon as you subscribe, YouTube has a situation where I can set how long you have to be a subscriber to be able to comment, and I just said it was immediate. So if you're not already a subscriber, why not subscribe today? And you can jump right into the chat. Now, we're going to do polls. We're going to do polls on the casting potential people for these roles. We're going to have a great time. The way the rules work, Andrew, you got a gifted membership. I love it. Oh, look at Michael gifting 5 more memberships. Oh, I love it. So the way this is going to work, all right, is that ask me. Heather. Her birthday generosity continues. So keep your comments to the subject at hand, and I will be paying more attention to your questions when I go to the question section of each story. And then, we see gifting 10 memberships. CJ, I saw CJ at Transformers the other day, gifting 1 membership. We see 10 memberships. That's very generous. You guys are great. The chat's very fast. I had it I set it to 3 minutes between tweets, but that's a lot because a lot of people can chat today, so that's awesome. Lady Jennifer Snow, look at the generosity. I love it. All right, so, but if you have a question about something that does not pertain to today's stories, don't worry about it. At the end of the stream, for the final 10 minutes, is the Ask Me Anything, and then I'll do shout-outs. Thanks for becoming a member, Fun Troon. You look like a lot of fun indeed. All right, let's get started. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have such a good time. All righty, here we go. Bride Cramp says, I always enjoy your chats, Grace. Muchos gracias. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for such a nice comment. All right, let's get started. Okay. Oh, by the way, I started watching Star Wars Rebels yesterday. On my Twitter account, I put down the cheat sheet that I was using. You don't have to watch every episode. And I got to tell you, it's surprisingly quick to get through. I'm almost done with season 1, and they don't have you skip a ton of episodes, and it's really digestible, and I'm really loving it, particularly because I like the Bad Batch so much. This is just more of that. So I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time, and I really do think that if you don't watch it, you're not going to enjoy Ahsoka to the same degree. Dancing Dog 60, I saw your gift of 5 memberships. Incredibly generous. All right, let's get started. All right, so story number 1. Boop! Jimmy Gunn. Do I want to give him the Jimmy as well? He is kind of a little bit similar to James Cameron. Boab, 10 memberships. Thank you. That's so kind of you. My pleasure, George. So Jimmy Gunn. Jimmy Gunn looks like he's in the final process of casting his leads on Superman Legacy. Now, this was a story that was run in Deadline yesterday, and it's the kind of story that couldn't have been run just a few weeks ago until Gunn decided to get out of the debunking game, which I suggested, as you might recall, because stories like this weren't happening. And stories like this are the lifeblood of keeping people interested in your franchise. So I'm very happy that Gunn decided to stop doing that. It's really not worth it. I don't really know what value he was getting out of it, except for entertaining like a couple of his trolliest fans who loved it. Now, I heard Logan, as I told you, so let me bring him up. I'd heard that Logan Lerman, he is kind of tiny. I will give you that. I had heard that Logan Lerman was a finalist, as I tweeted, and I wasn't going to tweet it until I was called out. So I tweeted it, and I told you before that all of the trades had heard Logan Lerman as well, but were too afraid to report on it because of Gunn's behavior, and which I bore the brunt of. That's all right. I'll go out front and take the heat. So I don't know if he decided not to do Logan Lerman because it leaked, I don't know if he decided not to do Logan Lerman because he is kind of tiny. I kind of like Logan Lerman, actually, to be honest with you. I think he's a more James Gunn choice. I think he fits very much with the James Gunn model. I think he's very much everyman. And I think because of the Percy Jackson background, I think a lot of fans would have been excited about it. I think he was a great choice. But it seems he's, at least according to Deadline, and last I heard, which I tweeted recently, is that David Corenswet is the most likely. We'll get into the choices in a moment. Now, as Deadline reported, and as I'd heard as well, James Gunn has been very busy, of course, promoting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So he's not going to be paying too much attention to casting until now. But now he's in it. He's officially done at Marvel. And so they have a final read-through, apparently, like over Father's Day weekend or right after Father's Day weekend. Can they keep it a secret until Comic-Con? I suspect, and that's what my sources are saying, that James Gunn will want to bring them out on stage at the DC panel, which is a lot like how Marvel does their presentations. And I'm curious if James Gunn will run his Comic-Con panel exactly like Kevin Feige does, only he's Kevin Feige. He's, of course, been a staple during the Marvel panels, quite frankly. Now, it's a tough thing to do. Like, I think that the Marvel runs a good panel, and there's no reason not to run the panel that way. And I think a different studio executive would probably be able to pull it off a little bit better. But I think because of James Gunn's closeness to Kevin Feige, and also James Gunn's, that he likes to put himself front and center and kind of make everything about him, I don't know if it's necessarily the best call. Let's see. We'll see what happens. I hope if James Gunn delivers a lot of tea, and if James Gunn can make everybody really interested and he generates a lot of headlines, well, then that's great. That's what they really want. Marvel continuously has won Comic-Con year after year after year after year after year after year. So it would be great to have some competition in there, quite frankly. And though also, of course, infamously, they had announced Batman v Superman at Comic-Con, and that's when Kevin Feige agreed to do Civil War. So you got to be careful about giving out your game plans. It'll be curious to see who has the bigger walkout. Is you're right, Shahar, the Fantastic Four cast, or will it be, maybe something from Gunn? Tyler Rod says, has Gunn ever had $1 billion movie? He has not. He has not. Superman, I don't know. I got to tell you, I don't know if Superman could do it, quite frankly. I don't know if Superman's really a character for today, especially because I think Chris Evans' Captain America undercut him so significantly. The Brendan V says the Superman finalists should lip sync for their lives to I Need a Hero. That's pretty funny. That's a very James Gunny thing to do. I don't care, Bear. Congrats on your diamond, by the way. All right, so let's look at these, and we'll also do a poll. All right, so bye, Logan Lerman. All right, so we'll talk about Superman first. I made this image for us. Let me put in the poll so you can vote while we're discussing it. Of these three, who should be Superman? So that's David Corenswet, Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Holt's like, I can't believe I'm still in it. And we're all like, we can't believe it either, Nick. And then this guy, that third guy is a guy named Tom Brittany, who came out of nowhere. All right, so you can vote there. I actually agree with some of you who are saying none. I don't like any of these choices. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm not jazzed about them. So let's go through them, and I'll give you my thoughts while you guys vote. Although David Corenswet is off to a significant lead. I should have added Logan Lerman to the poll. That's funny. All right, so the first one, obviously, is David Corenswet, working overtime to have the hair of Superman. So he's Juilliard trained, but I got to tell you, of everything I've seen him in, I didn't see him in X or Pearl or whatever, but everything I've seen him in, he's been a pretty awful actor, to be honest with you. But he certainly looks like Superman. And I think, to be honest, he looks like he'd be a good Superman opposite Robert Pattinson. I don't understand why they're casting such a younger Superman when they're going to have an older Batman, and then Robert Pattinson's going to be running around in an alternate universe. It's ridiculous. All right, so my sources said that it's almost definitely going to be David Corenswet. And he's the easy, obvious choice, you know? I mean, he's got the hair. I think there are a lot of fans who are excited about him. And I don't know why. It's the same fans who liked Henry Cavill, quite frankly, from what I can see. Who really want like a very specific... He looks a little like Henry Cavill, to be honest with you, as Hazel just pointed out. So, I mean, why don't you just go with Henry Cavill? But anyway, David Corenswet. Then Nicholas Hoult, and that's the actor in the middle there. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. Now, there were some rumors, as you might recall, that he was up for Lex Luthor. I don't want Nicholas Hoult anywhere near this movie, and that pains me to say because I love Nicholas Hoult. I think he's an incredibly talented actor, but audiences have spoken, and they have absolutely no interest in him. And I think he's just been around for too long, and I don't think he's out-of-the-box casting enough for you to be like, oh, I never thought of that. You're just like, he could be Batman, he could be Superman, he's auditioned for these characters before. I just think it's a horrible idea. I think I agree. Someone said, is there a vote for anyone but Hoult? That's what I would vote for. Anyone but Hoult. Now, I'm not familiar with this Tom. Oh, by the way, I think Lex Luthor should be older, and I would race bend Lex Luthor, quite frankly. I think that they need to do that. Jimmy Olsen's always the obvious choice, but I don't think that's a good idea. Marvelous Jack, he is morphing into Ed Skrein. That's a funny comment. But I think that that's not a bad idea for Lex Luthor. Idris Elba, I wanted Denzel, but Idris Elba could be interesting. All right, so then Tom Brittney. Tom Brittney is the guy at the end from the UK. He's on some detective show. And I got to tell you, I kind of like his look. I'm not very familiar with him, but he kind of has that, on the farm in Kansas kind of look. So I kind of like him. As I said again, I'm not familiar with his acting, but I kind of like him. All right, so let me see what the vote is. Okay, hold on. Let me end the poll. The poll says David Corenswet, 68%. Oh, James Gunn wants that appeal. I think James Gunn's like, who will the internet not get angry with me about? Tom Brittney is at 16%. Nicholas Hoult at the bottom at 14%. But wow, you guys really want Corenswet. All right, so future movie actor says Nicholas Hoult is talented, sad that he slept on. For the record, I didn't vote for him though. And you picked David Corenswet. All right, so that's the Superman casting. Now let's take a look at Lois. All right, there are Lois choices according to Deadline. So we'll do a poll. Hold on. Out of these three, who should play Lois Lane? All right. Emma Mackey, Rachel Brosnahan, otherwise known as the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then Phoebe Dynevor. And if you're curious as to who the heck that is, she is from the first season of Bridgerton. She's a bad choice. Okay, the chat is really moving. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. 50 memberships. My God. That's extremely generous of you. Thank you. That's really very kind of you. Thank you so much. And I love when you guys give memberships. It's wonderful because you not only support this channel, but you share the love with others, which is really great. Other people can enjoy and benefit from it as well. All right, so let's talk about these ladies. Now, I had said that I really didn't want Emma Mackey because I felt she was a knockoff Margot Robbie. And I annoyed many of her fans, but also many agreed with me. She has taken to dyeing her hair dark or going with her natural dark brown hair color, and she seems to have lost a significant amount of weight, really emphasizing her cheekbones. And I think she has distanced herself a little bit from Margot Robbie, especially in photos like that. I do feel she'll get the Margot Robbie comparison, and because of James Gunn's kind of like, let's just say, very strong relationship with Margot Robbie based off of the Suicide Squad, I kind of feel like that's never going to go away. Like people are going to be like, well, he couldn't have Margot Robbie, so we got the best next closest thing. But out of these three, I think she's the best choice, to be honest with you. Her and Corenswet, I got to tell you, they're kind of bland. They're kind of like the obvious choices, but I'd rather have obvious choices than bad choices. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So she looks kind of like Lois Lane there, especially the way she's standing. So I could kind of see her doing it. Rachel Brosnahan, I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but I think this is a bad idea. I mean, particularly with a younger Superman. If Henry Cavill was still in the role, I feel like Rachel Brosnahan would have been a wonderful Lois Lane to him. I just feel like she's going to be, based on the Superman that we just looked at, just too much of an age difference, in my opinion. Also, I have to tell you, I don't think Rachel Brosnahan is like that appealing outside of her Mrs. Maisel performance, and I don't want to see Mrs. Maisel as Lois Lane. So I just wouldn't go with her. I think at first it was like a great idea. You were like, oh yeah, that's very clever. Mrs. Maisel is kind of like Lois Lane. But I just don't love it. And then that's Phoebe Dynevor from Bridgerton. I didn't watch Bridgerton. She's probably like, why aren't I getting any attention for the massive success of Bridgerton? But I have to tell you, not only does she have lighter coloring, she's got like Amy Adams all over again. Lois Lane is not a redhead or a brunette. She has black hair. That's extremely important to me. So anyway, also, I think she just has a softer look. Lois is a really hard-edged person. She's very aggressive. And I feel like, I mean, maybe, it is called acting. So I could be surprised with Phoebe Dynevor, right? But I don't like a softer Lois. I didn't like when what's her name? Kate Bosworth. I didn't like when Kate Bosworth played the character. I didn't like Amy Adams in the role. That's not Lois. So I really think she's an awful choice, quite frankly. And I'm surprised she made it to the final round. I think the only reason she made it to the end was because of Bridgerton. Terry Hatcher, Mish, was the absolute perfect Lois Lane. And I don't think anybody will ever be able to beat her, but we'll see. Somebody has to at some point. But to me, some people like Margot Kidder, but I prefer Terry Hatcher. I think Terry Hatcher is the best. She just was Lois Lane. It was incredible. All right, so let's see what the poll is. Hold on. Oh, Tammy, I hope you enjoyed your breakfast. Yeah, Tammy, that's funny. I hope the script is strong because these choices are not. Yeah, they're very weak. They're very bland. They're very safe. They're who will the internet not get angry with. They always say, don't give the people necessarily what they want, but what they didn't know they wanted. And that's always the most exciting thing to do. And James Gunn has done some inspired casting, I think for sure. But I don't think he's very good at casting women for the most part. Okay. Although Karen Gillan is Nebula, I would love to get something on that level. I really worry about James Gunn writing Lois Lane, to be honest with you. I'm very scared about it. All right, so your poll was 47% for, you guys are more divided on this. 47% for Emma Mackey, 39% for Rachel Brosnahan, and only 12% for Phoebe Dynevor. That's interesting. Let's see here. Faisal says, how about Olivia Cooke? She was great in House of the Dragon and Ready Player One. No, I don't think, so again, she has a softness to her. She has a softer quality. I wouldn't go with her. Future movie actor says, I like Emma Mackey for in it. Well, she's the only thing I see her in. I thought she did really well in 2022's Death on the Nile. Oh, I thought she was awful in that. But I'm glad you enjoyed her in that. I thought she couldn't be worse. Vin Hiz says, Rachel should be Zatanna. Rachel Brosnahan is Zatanna? That's actually not bad casting. I like that. I prefer that. All right, so we'll see what the groupings are. As I said, I would go with, let me do it here. Hold on. I would go with Mackey. Sorry, other people. I would go with Mackey and Corenswet. That's who I would go with. I just think they're the best choice, quite frankly. And we'll see if they are indeed announced at Comic-Con, and there could be a surprise in there, quite frankly. Let's see here. I see Has-Been David says, I like the idea of Lois that's older than Clark. I think it helps elevate her in life's experience and attitude, and it'd be a unique, dynamic relationship that we don't see much of. Some of you are really into this older Lois. I am not a fan of it whatsoever. I really dislike it, in fact. But let's see. I mean, 1 or 2 years would be fine, because you're casting people who are a mix. But a significantly older Lois, to me, is like a pretty awful idea. But some people are jazzed with it, so we'll see what James Gunn decides to do. All right, does anybody have any? Yeah, I agree, Danny. Amy Adams, as I said, she was a little too handsy there with poor Henry Cavill. All right, so does anybody have any questions about this story in particular? And then we'll go on to the next story. Keith says Superman and Lois is good right now. I don't know if Legacy can top it. But how many people are watching it, though, to be honest, right? Mika says Rachel's tape is apparently amazing. I don't doubt that it is, but she's just wrong for the role. Poke says, hi Grace, your videos are, thank you. And how is Batman older with a son and Superman being young? It makes no sense. We're all screaming that at James Gunn, but he's doing it anyway. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Justin. Please do like the stream, please, if you have a chance. Words in a Handle says, is Superman Legacy based on a comic and an Indian actor for Lois? That's not a bad idea, but I think he's going to go really traditional. I think James Gunn is going to go very traditional with the script, and I think he's going to go very traditional with the casting. Now, the question is, can James Gunn do traditional? I've seen some really great glimmers of brilliance in his last two movies. Even the Suicide Squad, I thought, well, I hated parts of it. I thought parts of it were really excellent. So I think that he might be able to pull it off. I was very encouraged by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but there's edginess to Gunn that just doesn't fit to me in Superman's world. So I think he is probably one of the worst people you could put on this, but I'm hoping that he proves me wrong. Future movie actor says, don't point the finger at Emma Mackey. She didn't have an... Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, they say there's no small roles, only small actors. Poke says, shouldn't Superman have a son with John Kent? Well, I guess they're not doing that. Although they're replacing all of the Trinity with children now, and I have mixed feelings on that. I was okay with Super Sons, but now that Wonder Woman's getting a daughter, I'm like, wait a minute. Are you getting rid of the originals? I don't know how I feel about it. Max88 says, Jenna Ortega would have made an excellent Lois Lane. I think she would have, actually. I think she would have been great. As well as, I think Melissa Barrera, right, is the actress opposite her who plays her older sister. I think she could have made a good Lois. Lewis Berry says, David and Rachel are the best picks. Holt is a better fit for Batman and Lex. Hope is also to get Bryan Cranston as Lex. Well, I've always said that. I said that back when they were doing the Snyderverse. But Bryan Cranston, unfortunately, is going to retire. Giancarlo Esposito would be a great Lex. And, of course, voices Lex Luthor. Where he voices Lex Luthor on the Harley Quinn animated series. Although Giancarlo Esposito might be Professor Xavier. I think that's great. Nobody would get upset with Giancarlo Esposito in any role. You could make him anything you want, and I don't think anybody would complain about race bending, because he's just so fantastic. I love him so much. That's right, Stebity. He basically is Lex and the boys. That's very true. All right, let's see here. Albus says, I think the Gunn is I think there is Gunn everyman choice for Superman, and there is a Warner Brothers choice for Superman. Oh, these are Warner Brothers choices. That's interesting, Alvarez. I wonder if Warner Brothers is stepping in there. That's very interesting. That's funny, Haunted Autumn. I hope Jennifer Holland is not in the movie. With all due respect, for her own good, they can't put her in everything. It's just going to give her a problem, too. She doesn't want to be in everything. Oh, Film 555, Timothy Oliphant or Tom Pelphrey as Lex Luthor just blew my mind. Tom Pelphrey, that's it. That's Lex. You did it. He should be Lex Luthor. That's definitely Lex. He would be incredible. I don't know how he'd look bald, but I guess we have to find out. That just totally saved the day. Tom Pelphrey was the brother on Ozark, Laura Linney's brother on Ozark, and he's also in Love and Death, as Lisa just pointed out, playing the attorney, and he is extremely good in Love and Death as the attorney. That's your Lois. I mean, that's your Lex. Tom Pelphrey is there. That's your Lex Luthor. It's done. So let's see, though. Let's see who, and he's the right age range, too. And I've been hoping for Tom Pelphrey to get something someday, and I don't know why it's taken so freaking long, but it would be worth it if he was Lex Luthor. It made me so happy. Danny says Tom Pelphrey is Lois. He could do it because he's a great actor. All right, let's move on to the next story of the day. All right, hold on. Story number 2. Boop. Okay, Legend of Zelda. Yesterday, Lena says, will Gal Gadot stay as Wonder Woman in the DCU? I don't think she's going to. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. All right, here we go. Buck's basement was all ready. Do not want Illumination with Zelda. Zelda is the opposite of Mario. It is much more serious. Hold on, I have a statement for that. And future movie actress says, what about Samara Weaving? I don't know why she's not getting any work. She's not getting any work either. All right, now we're on to the Zelda story. So please keep your comments on that train. Okay, so yesterday a scooper reported, and it was one of the only things able to break through Summer Game Fest. Thank you, Ross, for gifting a membership. I have no idea why they were trying to break any news yesterday during Summer Game Fest, which took up all the bandwidth on social media. So it was just putting stuff in a black hole. It was so stupid. So anyway, this was the only thing that was kind of able to break through, and that's on a scooper yesterday reported that Illumination and Nintendo are close to signing a deal for a Zelda movie. And I checked with my sources, and I found out this morning that that is indeed the case. So I think that one of the things that made this go ahead is Spider-Verse, because of the quality of that animation. And some of you are worried about the quality of the animation. And I think that they looked at Spider-Verse and they were like, we could do something like that with Zelda. I think that's a really good idea, possibly. Spider-Verse, of course, is extremely successful and wins Oscars. And Illumination Entertainment, by the way, Illumination has never won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Their only nomination, they have one nomination, and that was in 2013 for Despicable Me 2, and they did not win. So I think that if Illumination can have the right style, if they can do Spider-Verse style animation, they could have something really special on their hands here. Now, it would be that would be more different than anything they've ever done, but I think that would be a good idea, particularly because the Zelda games have been so experimental with animation. So just one sequence and across the Spider-Verse, it was revealed, took 4 years. The train sequence, the train chase, took 4 years to animate. So it could be a while until we get Zelda, even if this deal is going through. For instance, the Super Mario Brothers movie there were first rumors of it in 2017. So that's how long it took. It took 6 years to get that movie on screen. So I think that, they're just putting a deal together now. And so 6 years from now, you would get a Zelda movie. That's nuts. So, but I mean, it would be keeping in pace with how long apparently it takes Nintendo to do anything. Now, of course, Tears of the Kingdom just came out. Very, very successful. Huge success, in fact. 10 million copies were sold in the first 3 days, which $70 a pop is $700 million. And it's the fastest selling Zelda game to date. And the game came out in 1986. I think animation is the best way to go with these Nintendo properties because it's able to look most like the game. Nobody's like, that's not my Zelda. I think it's a good idea. Arcane style, that's, 1, 2, 3, Mr. Petey. I think that Spider-Verse, I compared that to Arcane. So I definitely think that that's the way to go. You can talk, Amar. It's open to subscribers today. So I think it's a great idea. I think if Illumination can do something different, I think it could be really, really good. So we'll see what they decide to do. Of course, Super Mario Brothers is not just a billion-dollar movie, but one of the highest-grossing animated movies of all time. I think it's in third place right now. Or actually, no, second place, behind just Frozen 2. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet. So we'll see how this works out. We'll see if they announce it, and we'll see how fast they can get it done. Anna says, I think that Illumination's style and character design just doesn't work for Zelda unless they radically change the design choices and sophisticate their storytelling. They would definitely have to do that. They cannot just do another Illumination-style movie. I think that would fail miserably, particularly because, as I just said, the game itself experiments so much with animation. So what do you guys think? Thank you, Jack. Thank you. What do you guys think of this, or do you have any questions about a Zelda movie? Nicholas Holt is Zelda. He'll take anything, Kaylin. That's right. Johnny says, currently playing Tears of the Kingdom. It's absolutely incredible. Zelda has a darker story that I'm not sure Illumination would be able to execute well. Well, who would have ever guessed Sony Animation could do Spider-Verse? I think we should try and stay positive. Poke says animation should get its own, Nintendo should get its own animation studio. But why should they? It's going so well for them. They have enough to do with their games, and Illumination has proved to be quite competent because everybody loves Super Mario Brothers. All the fans did, at least, and it made a ton of money. Austin Archer says, I feel like DreamWorks would be a better choice for Zelda. But, that's true. It's at the same studio. But DreamWorks right now is not able to produce anything that is as successful as what comes out of Illumination. I think Illumination, because they have so many foreign animators, global animators, they do a lot of work out of France, for instance. I think they have a better idea of what's going to appeal to the global marketplace. Josh says, I would give DreamWorks for Zelda and give Illumination Splatoon. Or Illumination could just focus on all the Super Mario Brothers movies, quite frankly. Voice Inject says, an animated Windwalker movie would be Chef's Kiss. Mwah. Let's see here. Turtles says, as a huge Zelda fan, I even have 2 Zelda tattoos. That's a big fan. I really don't want an Illumination Zelda. Either give us the Studio Ghibli Zelda we deserve, or make it live action. But Turtles, you haven't even seen anything. What if it's really good? Cassiano says Zelda needs a visual that can show this fantasy but also the deeper storytelling. While Gamer on a Budget says, except for Metroid, I loved your casting of Charlize Theron for a live action Metroid. For Zelda, yes, a more artistic yet darker take is necessary. Let's see here. And Nameless Desires. What a name! Says, although you are by definition nameless. As someone who learned English while playing Zelda, I'm excited and so nervous for the movie, but I think at least animation is better than live action. Let me ask you, I'll do the poll. What do you want for a Zelda movie? I mean, you're getting animation, but just for fun. Animation or live action? Okay, there you go. You can pick one. Studio Ghibli ain't getting it, man. Universal has a very strong Nintendo deal. Bambi says, I would love a toon version of Zelda. That's awesome. Universal loves to hear it. Darker Point says, I don't like the idea of them doing an original story. I hope they make the timeline uniform and then adapt some of the main games. Skyward Sword is a launch pad or bust. Well, I think after Mario, why would they do an original story? I'm glad you like the polls, Way to Plant. I don't know why they would do an original story. They have tons of lore, and they didn't, I guess Super Mario Brothers had so little story, and you guys felt it was extremely faithful. Oh, look, I'm sorry, Vic, you're losing. Animation is dominating, although live action's coming up a little bit. Well, I'll give that a few seconds, just about a minute for you to vote in that poll. And then I'll close it and we'll go on to the next story, which will be short, and then we'll do an Ask Me Anything. Ranger says, when the outside gamer world finds out that Zelda isn't the main character, but his name is Link. I know that. It's the legend of Zelda, not the story of Zelda. Levi says, Pokemon is better suited for Illumination. Well, Pokemon is getting a live action animation hybrid over at Netflix. So that's already spoken for. All right, I'm ending the poll. It was very simple. 77% want animation. All right, that's pretty overwhelming. All right, so I told you I heard a long time ago they wanted to have Tom Holland be Link. But I think after Mario made so much money and Spider-Verse was so popular, I think animation is the way to go. Timo Doc says, we need to start with animation. If it succeeds, then we can move to a live action option. I'm just so happy they are moving forward. This could be amazing. So much mythology and lore to play with. Yeah, I think I'm going to like Zelda a little better, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to like Zelda a little better because it's more story-based. Anna says, I would love live-action Zelda if Hunter Schafer was cast as Zelda. Hunter Schafer does look a lot like Zelda. The musical lawyer says, Zelda has a simple story with little character development. Can they sophisticate it and please fans? Wasn't the point of these movies to be as closest to the games as possible? Oh, there's not a lot of story in The Legend of Zelda? Well, then I guess it'll be like Mario. Future movie actor says, Super Mario Brothers movie benefited from being colorful and having gone with a big fan to see it. I knew he appreciated the strong loyalty to the games. Yeah, it's incredibly strong loyal to the games, which didn't matter to me, but it certainly made fans very, very happy. I'm seeing the same thing with Transformers, although apparently there aren't as many Transformers fans because I don't think it's going to be $1 billion picture. Gamer on a Budget says, the best part of Zelda is that it is literally a legend, and therefore it can be told in many different ways with many references from the games. I like that. Okay. What's that one other thing? All right. Okay. Third story of the day. Hold on. Hector Vega says there is a lot of story in Zelda. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Okay. Boom, baby. Daly and Goldstein. Okay, so Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are a writing-directing duo. Oh, wow. Tennessee, you're back. Another generous donation of 20 memberships. Thank you so much. Tennessee, you're very generous. All right, so Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are a writing and directing duo, and they are I think they're moderately successful. Wow, Tennessee! Wow, Tennessee, that's extremely generous. Thank you. They did game night. James, 50 memberships. You guys, you're so generous. You're so, so generous. This is why I gift 5 memberships myself every single week on the first stream of the week. James, that's really very kind of you. All right, so we've had so many memberships gifted this stream. That's awesome. Hey, Quandra. All right, so they did game night, which I really enjoyed. You're finally a member, No Angel. Yay, I'm so happy for you. All right, so they did game night, which I absolutely adored. And they also did the recent Dungeons and Dragons, which everybody agreed was quite good, but was not particularly successful. They did the writing on Spider-Man Homecoming, and they wrote one of the versions of The Flash, and I suspect contributed to the final version that you do see. Now they're doing a movie called Mayday for Apple TV and Skydance, and it's going to star, it just got the cast members of Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh. And I have to tell you, that seems almost exactly like the dynamic of Chris Pine and Hugh Grant from Dungeons and Dragons. So I feel kind of mixed on this, and I think we'll see how they decide. We'll see how it goes, okay, with this movie. But to me, this seems more like Six Underground, that Michael Bay movie with Ryan Reynolds for Netflix, which is just kind of like a star-studded something that people are interested in on a streaming service. This doesn't seem particularly compelling to me. So we'll see how it works out, but I'm glad they're keeping going. They're clearly not making another Dungeons and Dragons right now. Luca, they did not give a log line. It's still top secret, so it better be good if they can't tell us what it's about. But all they are doing is moving forward. And they said they're moving forward quite quickly, and it's probably going to be Ryan Reynolds' next film that he makes, that he shoots after Deadpool 3. All right, so I told you that would be a very quick story. I needed a third story for the day. All right, it's Q&A time. Oh, iReady, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Wow, a lot of people are joining the party today. Thank you, James. I'm glad you decided to do that. Future movie actor says the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie at least broke even. Not a total success, but not a total failure either. Well, it's not a failure, so that's why they work again, but I would not do another Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's too expensive, and it's not enough. There's no return. All right, it's Q&A time. All right, so you can ask me anything that you would like. As you can see, the chat is moving very quickly. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. We'll go for 10 minutes. It's 1:42, so we're going to 1:52. So Alvaro, I'm glad you're having fun today. So we have some good stuff to discuss. All right, so you can ask me anything. All right, so Mika says, what are your thoughts on the Secret Invasion teaser? So they dropped the first 4 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes of Secret Invasion yesterday. I thought it was not a particularly compelling preview, to be honest with you. And I think that it kind of gave away a reveal, but then it didn't even give away the reveal fully. So I think more people would have talked about it if they had. So I wouldn't have shown that. I would have just released a new trailer, quite frankly. But I'm still extremely excited for the show. Oh, Manoj Francis, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Okay, hold on. I'm going back here. Don't want to miss anything. Nicholas gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. HT gifted another 50 memberships. We're at 150 plus memberships here. My goodness, we might have 200 memberships for today. What a Friday. What a Friday. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going along here. Brian says, do you think Sonic would have been more successful as a fully animated movie? You know, Brian, that's a great question. I think potentially it might have been. And, you know, Sonic was doing great. It was the most successful video game, I think, movie until Super Mario Brothers came along. So I think Sonic probably made a small mistake. And also, it's not at all faithful to the games. I mean, it's kind of faithful, but they took it into the real world instead of just focusing on Sonic's adventure. So they probably did have a miss. And it's not too late, I guess, you know? Delcom, I did see Nicolas Cage at Summer Game Fest. I thought that was great that he showed up. Chris, I'm not sure when I'm seeing Indiana Jones yet. Oh, let's see here. Future movie actor says, been a member a few months, Grace. Been watching you since around 2016. You're a very active member, future movie actor. I love it. Definitely a fan of your content. Don't always agree, but still value your opinions when you give them. Definitely makes me think. That's awesome. That's all I ask. We don't have to agree. That's right, Dancing Dog 60. Memberships is the theme of today's stream. I love it. And I love you guys are so nice and happy to get a membership. That makes me feel very good. Sock Lee says, if Marvel keeps losing money, will they move up X-Men? Oh, I hope not. Don't mess up X-Men. I think for right now, they're focusing on the original X-Men from the Fox movies for, again, Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars, and giving them a very nice send-off. I mean, they deserve better than X-Men Dark Phoenix, quite frankly, right? So I think that's what they're focused on right now. Twincast says, old and young at DC. Rachel Brosnahan is 32. David Corenswet is 29. Robert Pattinson is 37. Comics Bruce was at least 38 when 10-year-old Damien came along. Well, Twincast, I think that a lot of times it's not the actual number, but the look. And I just think that Rachel Brosnahan looks significantly older than David Corenswet. I mean, we'll see, you know. Gil Harem says, are studios following the writing strikes? With Superman and Deadpool moving forward, it looks like they aren't. Well, they're saying that these scripts are locked, apparently, and I think it would get out if they cheated. And as for Deadpool, I think they just want to be able to shoot stuff so that the VFX department can get working on it. I think that they can do reshoots for dialogue and, dialogue replacement, especially with Deadpool's mask, in post, no problem. So I think it'll be okay. I think they really want to make their release dates. Where was that comment? That was so cute. Who said that? Someone said, I'm finally part of the party. That was, Eris, who just got a membership. That's adorable. I love it. Welcome to the party. Ross, thank you for gifting another membership. Boab says, hey, Grace, what do you think of Universal releasing Fax X on video on demand for digital on Friday already? Yeah, it's clearly not doing very well. But I think they need to do it. You know, I think it was a good idea. I think a lot of people will watch it this weekend, because there's just Transformers in theaters. I think a lot of people will check it out. Thanks for joining, Tom. Let's see here. Kledgy says, what are your thoughts on Elizabeth Olsen's recent comments on Wanda? Yeah, she was pretty negative. I don't know why she did that. Maybe she feels it's taking too long to come back. Tamed the Three Beasts says, gifted a membership. Thank you. Dan says, Link doesn't speak. Movie would be a disaster. Well, Toothless doesn't speak. As long as somebody speaks, I think it'll be fine. Hey, Mateus, thanks for joining. We See says, hi, Grace. What movie released in June do you think will be the biggest? I think it'll either be Spider-Verse, which of course already came out, or maybe The Flash, if they hadn't had so many free screenings. I'm nervous about that. Darth says, I first saw you in 2014. Thanks for sticking with me, Darth. We're coming up on quite the anniversary. Dorothy says, Christmas in June with BTT. So happy I joined today. I'm so happy too, Dorothy. I always love seeing you. GAP says, just watched the stream on 2x speed and caught up. Excellent. And then Trevor says, thoughts on the Harvey Dent rumored casting for the Batman 2. I haven't heard the rumor. I'm very excited about the Batman 2. If they did the transformation of Harvey Dent, I don't know. I'd be nervous about it because it would be so similar to The Dark Knight. David Henderson says, what do you think about certain characters passing? Why do you think certain characters passing the mantle works, but others it does not? Well, Miles Morales hasn't been passed the mantle because there's still a Peter Parker. Kate Bishop, I don't really know if Kate Bishop has worked out quite just yet. I don't think Hawkeye was a ratings juggernaut. And then, I don't think it really works. I think people just like the heroes. I don't think it's really worked yet, for the most part. Elijah says, casting Link is going to be difficult. Many fans want to mute Link. For Zelda, I think Sadie Sink is a good choice, especially if Zelda uses her chic persona. Well, I'm not familiar enough with the game to be able to offer my own thoughts on casting, but I would love Sadie Sink to get something. CE says, would a Zelda movie do as well as Mario? If they do it right, for sure. Because you can see how well Mario did and how many Zelda games they sell. So there's definitely that interest there. Frederick says, thoughts on Florence Pugh as Rapunzel for a live action? She's obviously a great choice, but she's not going to do that. She's too successful. She's going to be focusing on getting blockbusters and trying to win an Oscar. That's her game at this point. Oh, Malou, I'm so glad you're enjoying this stream. All right, I think I'm caught up. Hold on. Oh, Sandra, I'm glad you think that Giancarlo Esposito is a good Lex. Andrew gifted another 50 memberships. We're way past 200 memberships. My goodness, generosity. A musical lawyer gifted another 5 memberships. Oh, my goodness, it's raining memberships. We see we're at 250 memberships and counting. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Jeff McCulloch says Joel Edgerton and Josh Hartnett are the rumored contenders for Harvey. Joel Edgerton is the best of those two. Josh Hartnett, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really trust Matt Reeves at this point. I would trust anything he decided to do. But yeah, of those two, I agree with you. Joel Edgerton. Oh, Kara, it's my pleasure. Thank you for all the memberships. So happy to be a part of this community. It is a great community. You guys are great. We see says we need at least 200 free memberships in this stream. Yep, we got there. We got way past there. You guys are very generous. And again, I love that you would do it this way so that you not only support the channel, which I really appreciate, but others benefit from your generosity as well. Christina says, when do Barbie tickets go on sale? I don't know, Christina. Oppenheimer already went on sale. And Oppenheimer in true IMAX is selling out like gangbusters. But I'm very excited for Barbie. Some early projections came online, and Barbie is expected to obviously open much bigger, which would be great for Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. They really need that box office win. But it's going to be a great weekend at the box office. Everybody's going to be going. I think everybody will try to see both movies opening weekend. Let's see here. Ernest Menville says, hey, Grace, have you seen Jodie Comer's one-woman show in Broadway? I have not. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it so much, though, Ernest. She's probably wondering why she can't get another movie gig. Let's see here. I think that I'm pretty caught up. Hey, Andrew, thank you for joining. Quintessential Film, thank you for joining. And a movie club, no less. That's right. Don't forget, movie club on Sunday for BTT Movie Club members. So join that level of membership or upgrade today. Will be Batman 1989, getting ready for the Flash movie next weekend. And that's at 6 p.m. this Sunday. So, and if you can't join live, it will stay up for BTT Movie Club members so that you can watch it on your own time. Anthony Del Rey says, any thoughts on Yellow Jacket season 2? I hated it. I couldn't stand it. It made me hate the show. I did a total 180 on it. I don't believe I would tune in again. Martin OC, I'm afraid you're not a member. I'm sorry to say, but today's chat is open to subscribers. So I'm glad that you're a subscriber. Let's see here. Jaco, lots of love to you as well. Future movie actor says Rachel Brosnahan is definitely regal, but I would agree that she's probably not going to match, though, if you ask me. Yeah, she's just not a good choice, I'm sorry to say. And, again, I'm happy to be, I'm happy for an actor to show that they can do it. You never know. I mean, we're not watching the audition tapes. Ethan says, do you ever go to the theaters to watch new movies without having to review them? If so, what was the recent movie you saw? Ethan, instead, I usually see movies twice. I usually see movies twice because I see them at press screenings and then I go see them again with family or friends the opening weekend. And I don't mind because when I go the second time, I can just relax because I'm not reviewing it. So it's fine with me. Joy says, hi, Grace, what's your favorite iteration of Jean Grey, and do you have any Wanda tea? Well, Joy, I love your picture. I can see why you're interested. As I said yesterday, the Witches Road storyline is actually for Agatha, Coven of Chaos, not a Wanda movie. And as my favorite version of Jean Grey to date, that would have to be Famke Janssen in X2. And I'm really sorry she never got a chance to do the role right. Maybe she will one last time. Ramsey says, Star Wars Rebels thoughts. Please, when you finish, talk about it on a stream. Oh, maybe I will, Ramsey. That's not a bad idea. I'm loving it so far. I love all the characters. It's phenomenal. It's surprisingly good action, surprisingly sophisticated storytelling, lots of action. I love to see Jedis fight. And that makes me very, very happy. There's a lot of Jedi fighting, a lot of Force movement, throwing people around with the Force. I love it. It's what I want to see. This is the content that I'm looking for. Ixion says, thank you. Have you seen CeeLo, the show with 90% Brit actors that have weird American accents? Even Rebecca Ferguson. I have to tell you, Ixion, I started it and did not care for it, so I did not finish it, I'm afraid to say. You know what I did watch, though? Platonic, the new Apple show with Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really charming, and I thought it was great. I loved it. It's from the guys who did, it's from Nick Stoller, who did Friends with Benefits, which was on Netflix, another show that I really liked. So I recommend it. Munash T. Musa says, you always talk about the DC curse, but what were Cavill, Gadot, Robbie, and Momoa doing before DC? They were either glorified TV stars or supporting actors in films. DC turned them into potential stars. Well, I think, yes, I definitely think that all of those people, well, Margot Robbie, yeah, I guess kind of. I think that was definitely good for their careers. And, a lot of them joined at the beginning before things got really bad. But I don't think it's been good for any of them. I mean, I'm not saying that they should change anything, but I don't think it's worked out great. I mean, it helped them, but then it also spit them up and chewed them out. Gamer on a budget. I haven't heard any updates on Jonathan Majors yet. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Lero says, hi Grace, which story will you do first in the MCU? What do you mean which story would I do first in the MCU? I'm not quite sure what that question means. I'm going back, Mish. Anthony Del Rey says, can we redo Superman poll? Logan Lerman instead of Holt. No, because of course, I don't believe that Logan Lerman is in the mix anymore. Coder Newbie, I will definitely be covering The Boys when it comes out. I've covered every season so far, and last season 3, I did episode breakdowns, and I will do that again for the next season. Let's see here. Sky Guy says, hey Grace, you should listen to Best First by Sarah Cecil. She sounds a little like Taylor Swift. Thanks for the recommendation. I do love me some Taylor Swift. Ennio Duval says, Sophie Turner was a good Jean Grey. I agree. She wasn't bad, but she wasn't my favorite. PRL18 says, have you heard anything about the Lord of the Rings animated film? I have not, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. I just haven't heard any updates. Maddie, I will be reviewing Extraction. I'm supposed to get my screener today, so hopefully that's the case. They promised me. Thank you, Peter. That's very nice of you. I'm going back, Mish. I'm going back. Dan says, I'd much rather see a Metroid movie versus Zelda. Metroid doesn't sell as many games, Dan. They're going for the big guns. Voice Inject says, did you see the Bottoms trailer? No, I did not. I did not see that. Let's see here. I did get invited to a press screening for the Jennifer Lawrence comedy, and so I'm excited for that. Potterhead said, thoughts on a Robbie Gosling Ocean's 11. Horrible idea. Absolutely horrible. Why would you make a knockoff Barbie movie? And it's from the same stupid studio. Will I watch it? Heck yeah. 1960s Monte Carlo? I am there. But I don't think it's going to do very well. Until I reserve the right to change my mind when I see a trailer. Oh, Peter, thanks again. Tom Mulholland says, you are my go-to YouTuber for absolutely everything. Aw, appreciate you and all the work you do. And been a subscriber since 2017. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. Joseph, thanks for joining. Mish, I'm looking for your comment. Let's see here. Corey says, any thoughts on Bill Skarsgård possibly joining DC Swamp Thing? Nah, I mean, it doesn't really matter who plays that character. I'd be shocked if James Mangold could make Swamp Thing work. Mish, your comment disappeared. Try asking it again. You don't have, just ask it regular and I'll look for it. Georgie says, watching your videos after work is always my favorite way to relax. Oh, that makes me feel so nice. I love hearing how you guys enjoy my videos. Maxer System says, hi Grace, been watching since 2013. Aw, We are 10 years, but never chatted in a stream. Love your reporting. Oh, I'm so happy. Congrats. Welcome. I'm so glad I made it a subscriber stream today. Denise says, Grace, you can still go see Prima Facie. It's playing until July 2nd. You wouldn't want to miss it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That's high praise, Denise. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. I've already spent a lot of money on Broadway tickets this year. I don't really know if I could do that. But I'm feeling, you guys are making me feel bad. Danny says, hi, Grace. I love that you're loving Star Wars Rebels so far. I am indeed. All right, Mish. Let me see. Did you write it? Mish, should actors wait for better characters like X-Men to join the MCU and not settle for B-list characters? So many characters now. Oh, it's your last membership day, Mish? I'm glad you got that in. Yeah, I would wait at this point. I mean, you know other opportunities are going to come up. You know you're going to get other opportunities potentially from another franchise. That I would wait. And I think you're seeing that with the Fantastic Four casting. Oh, Anthony, I can't talk spoilers for Mortal Kombat 1, but we will go over the DLC when they announce it officially. I'm excited. It's going to be so good. You don't even know all the characters in it. It's amazing. The Fuzzy Elf says, I love watching your live streams at the gym. Ah, yay! I'm glad you're getting a good workout in. Lewis Crickmore says, you should check out the new set pics and videos from Wicked. The sets are huge and impressive. I'm excited. I hope it's good. I mean, I do think the sets look good, but how is the acting? That's what I'm scared about. Juan says, what's the future of Disney live-action remakes after The Little Mermaid? Well, they have Snow White coming out. Is Disney going to stop correcting? I think they're probably going to make the ones that they already have going, but I don't know. I think maybe they should stop doing them, or they have to do them extremely faithful to the original. I think playing around with it has been very rejected by audiences. Oh, Liros meant, which X-Men story would you do first in the MCU? Well, as I said before, I would start with the second round of first X-Men, you know, when they had a more international team with Storm and Colossus and Logan. I don't want to start from the very beginning. But, you know, Kevin Feige's a purist, so we might. Anna says, I saw Grey House on Broadway, and I think it would make an excellent film adaptation. I usually say that about theater, but it was special. Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. Potterhead says, Cruella 2 still happening. I would assume so, but, you know, if the less you hear about it, the longer it takes, the less likely that it is. Toon Dude 19 says, Grace, you were right. Flash was incredible. I can't wait to see it again. You know, I was thinking about that today. No one is going to believe that Flash is good, no matter how many of us or who says that it is. It really has to be a leap of faith, and I hope that you do take it because it's a phenomenal film, but you're not going to believe it until you see it for yourself. And that's a weird ad campaign to have to run. But I think that's the situation that they're in because DC has just burned people too much. And I think that Ezra Miller's previous performances have been so bad. Heinrich Everson says, hey, Grace, I just want to say thank you for all the years of quality reporting and for your upbeat demeanor. Hookah, or do you mean huzzah? That's great, Heinrich. I love your name, Heinrich Everson. That's a very nice name. Let's see here. Okay. Max Rollo, I don't see a super chat. Let me see. Wardrak, 10 more memberships. Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm looking for it. Sebastian. Oh, yay, Sebastian, my Disney friend. Hey, Grace, finally caught alive. Just want to thank you for being you. Aw, that's such a kind thing to say. Max, hey, Grace, I'm in Epcot today. Oh, yes, Max, I saw you have the Num Num cookie yesterday. Just came off the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. It was insane. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you're having such a good time in Disney World. Happy Friday to you too, Clearwater. You want to get sensation? Let's get to 1,000 memberships. I think we're at probably close to 500 memberships at this point, which is amazing. Chico, thank you for gifting a membership. Hey, Mohammed in Syria. I'm so glad that you were able to comment on today's stream. All right, I'm way past the 10 minutes because I love talking to you guys. All right, let me just do some shout outs, okay? So shout outs. All right. I didn't watch Sweet Tooth Season 2. Who asked that? Caleb. I just wasn't into it. Kaylin says, thank you, Grace, for the amazing stream as always. Was having a hard time on myself today, and you make everything better right away. Thank you, Jerry, for gifting a membership so I can be here more. Oh, that's so nice. I love that the memberships go to such wonderful people. Kaylin, I'm sorry you were having a tough time, but, as I always say, good for you for paying attention to your mental health, doing something to help yourself get out of it, and I'm honored that I could be that for you. So it's Friday, and things can always look up. You just got to stay positive. Oh, Skunk Man, you got a diamond. Oh, I love it. It looks good on you. All right, so what's everybody doing so I can just say hi to you, all right? So that's the way this works. If you don't usually comment on a stream, don't ask me any more questions, please. I won't answer any more questions. But I just want to say hi to a couple of people. So just let me know where you are or what's up, just so I can interact with you. Okay? So Dylan Reese says, love you, Grace. Been watching for years. Yay. Well, Ross Kiernan just ordered takeout. Let's see here. Naguro is so happy to be on a stream from Indonesia. Oh, it's midnight. I'm glad you stayed up. Let's see here. Caleb is playing Zelda. That's awesome. And Kiki Iza says, working from home, laying in bed, happy not in the office. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see here. WeC says, tomorrow is Pride in San Mateo. We'll be marching with my company. Oh, that's wonderful, WeC. That's so nice that your company will be there. Zeke the Wise is on lunch in Houston, Texas, while Star Tasha is playing Halo on Xbox. I love it. Kayla Fast is eating brekkie breakfast. I love it. In Hollywood, California. Hearts to you as well. Look, Bell Trailers says everyone's playing Zelda. I love it. Martin OC says Denver here, a new member thanks to the generosity of this community. Awesome. Ivan says, hey, Grace, here in Mexico preparing for a job interview at Fox Studios. Fingers crossed, Ivan. Good luck. Break a leg on your interview. Daniela's in Portugal. Hi, Daniela. Ricardo is drinking wine with my partner while watching you. Hello, Ricardo's partner. You make our evening so much more fun. Love from Edinburgh. Oh, hi to both of you. Hey, Slayer Chic. I see your wave. I wave back. I'm trying to say hi to non-members who can't usually be here, or can't usually chat. Hey, El Al from Tel Aviv. Jeffrey Rivera is playing Dead by Daylight and eating lunch. While Armando Lupion says, love you, Grace. Been following you since 2012. Woohoo! In Malibu, eating a cheeseburger on the beach for my Friday. What a Friday, Armando. That's amazing. Kyle McEwen says, reading Alejandro Jabrowski in H-Town, XOXO, while Scrooge is exercising in Trinidad. Great content as always, Grace. Thank you. Rick says, got some L&L Hawaiian barbecue and getting ready for work. Awesome. Vincent Cheng says, hey, Grace. Hi, Vincent. I'm glad you love my channel. Well, Rob Carlos says, love from Toronto. Salem says, I'm going to watch Rebels as well, trying to find the cheat sheet. Salem, it's on my Twitter feed. It's a reply to my talking about watching Rebels and Ezra Bridger. Rob S. says, Grace, so sweet to say hi to non-member. Yeah, I want to make sure. Matthew Mead, thank you for gifting a membership. That's very generous of you. Andrew Summers says, celebrating Pride by mowing my lawn in rural West Virginia. That's awesome. That's great. Carl says, I wish DC would do something with Static Shock. He's such a great character. Yeah, the longer they sit on him, the more they do. Oh, Faisal, you gifted 50 memberships. I'm sorry, I missed that. That's incredible. I just wanted to say I love this channel and community so much, and I've been watching since Movie Bites. Oh, wow, Faisal, I see you on here all the time. I always love your comments, and thank you. I'm sorry I missed that. YouTube will erase things after a moment, and so I'm really glad. Thank you for gifting so many memberships. That's so generous of you. Hildry says, I'm just happy it's finally Friday. Olaf from Spain. Oh, that's awesome. You guys are so great. Let's see here. Mrs. Movie says, hi, Grace. Just got back from work and just joined the chat. Sending love from the Netherlands. Hello. I like your username quite a bit. Desmond Kingston says, just watched the restored Batman v Superman with the 4:3 IMAX sequences, getting ready for work now. Oh, sounds like a good day. Well, Miguel Angel Perez says, lots of love also from the Netherlands. Oh, that's awesome. Taryn says, I was thinking if I should watch The Idol or not. Should I? I'm currently watching you. Well, you know, Taryn, if you watched Euphoria, you might enjoy it, but I don't think it's been doing that well. Hi, Diva Minor. Oh, Hottie, I'm so glad you enjoyed today's stream. My pleasure. And Scary Scoop says, playing Overwatch in New Orleans. Oh, you guys are so great. I got to get going or I'm going to be late for something I have to do. I loved seeing you guys so much. And I also just want to say, you guys, your generosity blows me away every single live stream. Today was above and beyond. I mean, it's just incredible. And you just, a lot of people say they like this community so much. And I'm honored to have started it, but a community is about everybody that's in it. And the reason this is such a great community is because of all of you. And the fact that such wonderful people, as I've said before, are attracted to my work and like interacting with me really makes me feel so nice. And I know that some of you say that I cheer you up. And I just want to tell you that every time we do a live stream, sometimes I'm a little down before a stream, sometimes I'm having a rough day too. And without fail, you guys always lift my spirits. So I'm so glad that I got into live streaming. It's changed, my whole situation, and I gotten to know so many of you so much better. And I was really glad I was able to open it up to subscribers today. I'm going to try and do that a little more often, at least once a month. So it's great. You guys are the best. All right, so happy Friday, and I will see you on Sunday for not only movie math. Oh, Mark, you want to get unblocked on Twitter? Mark's like, can I get some of that love? Mark, get a friend of yours to DM me your handle with the @ in your handle, and I'll unblock you. All right, so I got to get going. You guys are the absolute best. Sunday, movie math, and then at 6 p.m., we're watching Batman on BTT Movie Club. All right? Have a great Saturday, everybody. Bye. I love you guys. Bye-bye.